What's going on, everybody? Fatty and Brian are back for a 216 pregame show. What's going on, Brian?
Woo! Feel a little hard after last night's Ohio State loss, but we move on, we move forward, and here we go. Now we get to talk about Browns, baby. How about you? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling stuffed right now. Just went out to breakfast with the family. We went to Sandusky Pancake House, and anybody ever gets a chance to come out here and try that local, fresh, man, it was amazing, amazing. And they serve mimosas and Bloody Marys in the morning too, so that's a bonus.
Woo! There you go. Get it started right.
Oh, God, it was so good. I had a waffle burger with bacon, a fried egg, two patties, and then a maple cream sauce on it. Dude, it's hands down one of the best burgers I ever had. Hands down.
The people need to know.
All right, so what's going on, brother? You ready for today's game against the Titans, especially after Saturday night and last Sunday?
No, I'm not. I'm sitting in flux right now. I'm feeling one of the most confused I've ever felt as a Browns fan right now. For those that don't know, I'm also streaming this live on TikTok, and I don't know what that's going to look like because I'm doing it on the phone here and I'm not focusing on that. So you TikTok folks, hello. Everybody else in the chat and watching us here live on YouTube, thank you. But last week, oh my gosh, we did the pregame show. I was riding high, right? Everything was good. I was excited. We were rolling with the momentum. And it almost played out like we thought, right? The one factor we didn't consider was our egregious, horrible, terrible special teams. Special teams. I continue to wonder why Bubba Ventrone still has his job. But then I think back to Joe Woods, and I think about Chad O'Shea, and I think about Kevin Stefanski and his mantra of smart, tough, accountable. And he doesn't hold anybody accountable. He's too nice to fire people mid-season. Hence, we continue to see the special teams gaffes, right? The biggest things I want to focus on from last week that pissed me off were the Browns. Well, special teams gives up a 66-yard punt return. So the Niners only needed 16 yards to score a touchdown on that drive. Then, although I didn't disagree with the call, he went for it on 4th and 1 on his own 32. What I disagreed with was not calling a timeout, which I know you agreed with because I saw your show earlier this week. So we'll probably get into that more. But then the Niners only had 32 yards to go to score a touchdown for their second touchdown. And then another drive, the Browns defense holds them to 3 and out. We punt, or they punt. Well, like that one guy says, we love punts. But and then our buddy, Gage Larbadan, muffs the punt after he had almost fumbled 2 already. And then the Niners score another touchdown when they only had to drive 18 yards. So on those 3 drives, the 3 touchdown drives that the 49ers scored on, they had to move the ball a total of 66 yards down the field. Pathetic. Pathetic.
Yeah. I can't. All right. So with the muff punt, I'm not going to get upset with Larvadan on that one because the wind was nuts that game. You can see it was even a putting scat. Like kicking was weird. Everything was weird that game. But especially in games like that, muff punts happen all the time in the NFL. They do. People say they don't, but they do. But man, oh man, what you're saying right there, just the stupid mistakes. Let's see here, the kickoff, and you just walk out of bounds instead of taking the penalty. Just stupid things like that we can't have. We can't have it. And I wanted Bubba Verdrome fired on Monday. I'll tell you what, if things don't go well today, we'll be talking here in a little bit about somebody else might be getting let go today. But man, it's a heartbreaker because if you think about this season, the way this season's gone, it has been, and excuse my French, I know it is 11:36 a.m. and nobody should be talking like I'm about to talk, but It's been a clusterfuck since this season has started and a shit show. Special teams have cost you 4 games this year already. Four games they've cost you. Think about that. Think if we take back the special teams gas that we have had, we'd be right in the thick of things with the AFC North because the AFC North sucks this year for once, and the team leading it is 6-6, and we still can't get there.
Nope. Well, hold on a second. So you mentioned 4 games. Now I can only think of 3. So help me through this. What were the 4 games that the special teams for our viewers screwed up this year, for in your opinion?
Well, let's see here. Let's go with the Jets. There's one.
Yep.
2 kick returns.
2 touchdowns.
Okay. You have the missed field goal with the Bengals game.
Yep.
Okay. Then you had, oh my God, what was the other one? I don't even have the schedule in front of me because I'm on my phone right now and you're killing me. The Vikings game. There's 3. So there's at least 3 games that have been screwed up because of just pure stupidity. And then, I mean, if you really want me to get into the stupidity, the 4th and 1 that your tight end said that he should have called a timeout, and you had Shador Sanders back there, and nobody was lined up, nothing was going right in that play, and you had your coach standing there on the sidelines. You should have called a timeout, dude. You should have called a timeout. That play was bound to be a messed up play just from watching it. Even watching it at home, I'm sitting there going, well, they're going to fuck this up. Watch this. And sure as shit, they did. And I'm sitting there going, I'm watching the play clock and everything else. I'm like, call a timeout. Why is nobody fucking calling a timeout? Nobody's calling a timeout. And then they come out and it's like, oh, I should have called a timeout. I should have called. No. Hey, Harold Fanning, you shouldn't have called a timeout. Shador, you shouldn't have called a timeout. Your CEO/head coach should have been the one calling the timeout and seeing the clusterfuck that was happening, and he didn't.
100% agree with you there. It was terrible to watch. I mean, you had Wyatt Teller running on the field with, I think, 8 seconds left. I mean, you on the play clock, you've got a player that's not even on the field that's running in at 8 seconds left. And again, with you, I'm obviously limited in my, I have no coaching experience. I have no field experience. I saw that play and I'm like, you have to call a timeout here. This is a cluster. This is not going to go well. And, everybody's talking about the fumble, but it's like it was 4th and 1. No matter what would have happened there, even if he would have held onto the ball, he wasn't getting that because they weren't ready. They weren't set.
No.
It was just embarrassing.
And also, the things that I'm still kind of questioning, the things that came out, with Wyatt Teller this week and the Tevin Jenkins and Wyatt Teller moving back and forth. And now Wyatt Teller's not in this game today. Neither is my buddy Jack Conklin's not in the game again. But I'm trying to figure out what is going on with this team and what they're trying to accomplish. Because at the beginning of the year, they told us that they were trying to win. And we are trying to win. We're trying to win. Trying to win games here. Trying to win games. The hell you are, man. Let's be honest with each other. You're not trying to win games, because if you were trying to win games, you wouldn't have had a 4-quarterback thing at the beginning. You wouldn't be doing the shit that you're doing now during the games. It is just, I don't understand what the hell the Browns are doing. And I have everybody, like even today, I'm here at a beautiful Castaway Bay in Sandusky while my family is swimming. I'm here doing the pregame show. And I have Bills fans in here walking through. Just walking through, blah, 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 wearing their stuff. I'm like, oh, you guys Bills fans? Yeah. I'm like, oh, what do you guys think of Clinton? Oh, we're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry you're a Browns fan. Sorry. Like, this is what we get. People feel bad for us. They really do. Because it's nothing that we can do about it. I mean, that game, that was a winnable game on Sunday, and you pissed it away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I was also very confused with the Wyatt Teller going on and off the field. I heard multiple different stories. One was that they were trying to get Jenkins reps so they could see what he had for next year. Excuse me, you're taking a former Pro Bowler, All Pro off the field to see what a guy who's already played. What didn't he already play 5 years for the Bears? You're trying to see what he has. What the heck? And if that was the case, that makes no sense to me. The other rumor I was hearing was that Wyatt Teller was in the doghouse. What? Okay, so if that's the case, I also have no understanding, no comprehension of why we are punishing Wyatt Teller. Now his gameplay apparently has come off this year, and you and I talked about it earlier this week.
Well, yeah,
he's had a freaking carousel at right tackle all year. I mean, it's not been consistent all year. There's been Levison, Conklin, DeJuan Jones for a little bit, and I think 2 other guys. So he's had and that's a cohesive unit that needs to play as one, right? The offensive line. So, of course, his play is going to go down if he's trying to explain to the right tackle who the heck to cover while doing his job. So that doesn't seem to make any sense to me. None of it really makes sense to me. And this is one of the things where I wish Kevin Stefanski would just be honest for what, like, dude, just tell us what is actually going on and quit with this smoke and mirror stuff. Like, you're not Bill Belichick. That works when you're winning games, but it's a terrible look when you constantly lose, right? Like, you're not hiding anything. We just keep losing. So all this smoke and mirrors and trying to limit what you say in the media so nobody knows what's coming. Like, it's not working, dude. It's been 5 years. It's not been working for 5 years. Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to change? So what was your take on, like, the why? Do you have an opinion on that, or why he benched Wyatt Teller or whatever is going on right now?
I mean, in this last year of his contract, that's the one thing that you got to keep in mind. But like you said, you and I talked, and we talked extensively about this, and it's like, okay, they came out with like a PFF grade on everybody, and like Bitonio's like 10th or something like that, and Wyatt Teller's 67th, this year, and everybody's like, yeah, yes, his play has dropped off a little bit, but like you said, you have a carousel going in back and forth at right tackle. Okay, you also had a left-handed quarterback starting out, so that's a different for anybody on that offensive line. That's a different blocking scheme, all that stuff. Plus, don't forget the center's been kind of in and out too. Postage and Whippler are kind of going back and forth there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you said, there's a carousel going there, and when you're trying to do your job plus help do other people's jobs, it's going to lack a little bit. And I feel horrible because I am the personal opinion on my side. I think Wyatt Teller should get an extension and end his career as Cleveland Brown. He deserves it. He's been a Pro Bowler here. He has been, and the thing is if you look at it, what else are they going to do? Like, if they extend him, are they going to flip him to the left side and have Jenkins play right guard and him play left tackle and take over for Bitonio? Like, is that a possibility? You know what I'm saying? So, but as right now he's injured, he has a calf injury. It's true calf injury. We've seen it last week. He was kind of grasping at that. But like I said, these are the questions that everybody's been asking all year about this Cleveland Browns team. And when questions like this are being answered, it's not good. It's not a good look on anybody at all. And then we haven't talked about this yet. The practice window magically opened this week for somebody. How do you feel about that? Because I'm sitting here laughing because everybody's like, well, he's going to get playing time this year. He's going to start. I'm telling you what, if he actually gets on the field and starts at any point in time this season with barring injuries, like if there's injuries, I could see it. But if he gets on the field at any point in time this year, that means that this organization is more of a fucking clown show than people believe it is. Because you had your owner come out twice and said it was a mistake of them going after him, and now he's going to be playing for him. That goes from the top all the way to the bottom. Clown show. That is the clown car coming up and 40 people rolling out of that clown car. That's what that is.
I've been thinking about it a lot since we talked earlier this week, and I've done some research. It just seems that they don't have another choice. Okay, so I don't, like you said, I agree with you. I think you would see Shador, more of Dylan Gabriel, or Bailey Zappi before you would see Deshaun Watson taking snaps. And if all three of those guys get injured, which let's be honest, it's the Cleveland Browns, we're constantly rotating through 4 quarterbacks a year. It's very possible, unless all three of those guys get injured, I don't see it happening. So as little faith as I have in the Browns as an organization right now, I don't see that happening. I mean, the only reason that Deshaun Watson is on this roster right now, in my opinion, is money. The contract that they have signed for him, they can't get out of. I did some research here. If they were to cut him this year, it would have been a $172 million cap hit, which is not feasible for any team to work through. The most realistic option, it seems, per sources and everybody, is that they need to keep him through the beginning of the year next year, which is June 1st. And after June 1st, then they can cut him, which would then only be a $73 million cap hit, which basically, if they kept him next year, and this is all assuming that they don't restructure his deal and push more money down the line, which I really hope they don't do. But if they, as the contract stands right now, if they keep him, it's going to be if they cut him, it would be a $73 million cap hit. If they kept him for next year, it would be about an $82 million payout that they would owe him. So it would be $82 million versus the cap. So if you cut him, you're only saving about $7 to $9 million roughly, but you're still going to have a $73 million hit for a player that's not even on the team. So here's my 2 cents. He's going to be on the team until June 1st at the very minimum of 2026, just because it makes absolutely no sense to cut him before then. You can't have a $172 million cap hit. So I think he's just there, kind of like he was with the Texans, right? He's just kind of there. He's not going to play. He's just there. He has to take up a spot on the roster because he's not injured. And that's just kind of how it's going to play out, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think? Do you think anything?
I just don't want to see him, period. I just don't want to see him, period. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear from him. I don't want videos of him. I want nothing to do with him. I didn't like it when they traded for him. I didn't like any of that. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at all the other shows that I was on when they did trade for him. You got a lot of fatty fired up on those ones. I didn't like it. I don't like it now. Like, I don't care if it's $170 some odd million cap hit. This face doesn't give a fuck. I don't want him here. I don't want him talking to other quarterbacks. I don't want him talking to the coaches. I want him off in his little corner with his dunce hat on and just stay over there. Like, I want him nowhere near the facility. But obviously that can't happen. That can happen. I get it. But man, I just want nothing to do with him. I want nothing to do with him. Nothing good has come of him. And because of him, we are in the situation that we are now.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that brings up another point that I wanted to discuss. Justin says I didn't want him here from day one either. I'll be honest. I'm not going to fake it. I wanted him here. I thought at the time it was a good move. I was dead wrong. Obviously, everybody obviously.
Oh, and it's one of those things. Was it an upgrade from what we had with Baker at the time? We thought so.
Yep.
At the time, we did, and I understand their decision to do it. I understand why they did it. Now, the compensation package for it, I did not like. The baggage that came with it, I really didn't like.
Yep.
And everything else that came with it. So, yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it with this guy.
Well, now that does bring up my next thing. I was curious about your opinion. So,
oh boy, you get my blood pressure up today?
I don't think so. This is mild. Okay. This is no surprise for you. Albert Breer was on 93.3. Albert Breer was on 92.3 The Fan this week, and he had mentioned that it's his opinion that both Barry and Stefanski are going to keep their jobs through next year. That, basically Jimmy Haslam is blaming it on the organizational decision, to sign Watson as to why we've been so bad. And I mean, honestly, with the money, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? That's a huge gaffe. So my question for you, if Andrew Barry and Kevin Stefanski end up keeping their jobs, as Albert Breer assumes is going to be the case, how do you feel going into the off season? I guess let's just start there.
Yeah, not good. Not good at all.
Okay.
I don't know how can people have 2 years of a mess that they've had and still keep their job? And it's I don't get this. Like, why? Because Andrew Barry drafted just a couple good players in this draft, let's just say, and everybody's crowning him as the best GM ever. Do we not remember Jed Wills? Do we not remember Schwartz? Do we not remember these guys that he's drafted that have turned into a donkey show? Also, he is the one guy supposedly who was the affidavit going after Deshaun Watson. So at that point in time, yeah, you should go. Stefanski. And one guy said it the best. Yes, he's 2-time coach of the year. I get that. But anybody that coached the Cleveland Browns to a winning season and gets them to the playoffs should be coach of the year every year. Like, let's be real about it. Like, everybody's looking at it and go, oh shit, the Browns are in the playoffs, coach of the year. That guy is coach of the year. Yeah, of course. It's the Browns. We're laughing stock. But these two coming back, I don't want to see it. If that's the case and they come back next year, God help us. God help us.
All right, what about this? Another thing that has been circulating over the week, especially since last night, is Fernando Mendoza, current quarterback for the Indiana Hoosiers. Dane Brugler of The Athletic, I believe he's with The Athletic now. He moves around a little bit. But anyway, he's a big mock drafter, and he had the Browns trading both of their first-round picks, their own and the Titans' first-round pick, to the Tennessee Titans to trade up to the number 1 spot to draft Fernando Mendoza. What are your thoughts?
After what I saw last night from him, the kid's tough. He can throw a deep ball. He trusts his wide receivers. And, dude, that was against an NFL defense last night. Yep. That wasn't a college defense. There was 4 or 5 guys that might be drafted in the first round on that defense last night. Like, that's no joke. So I like what I saw there. But the thing that I got to question is if we are, and everybody said we were going to put our chips in all to this draft coming up, with the quarterback and everything else, then why in the fuck did we draft Gabriel and Sanders? Why? Why would we do that to ourselves? I'm being serious, though. Why would we do that to ourselves then? Why not have Kenny Pickett here or Journeyman or bring in, just somebody to plug a veteran to plug the gap? Why did we have to draft 2 rookies when we're going to go after the first-round pick next year and a quarterback next year? Why? See, those are the questions you got to really ask, is why we're doing it.
Well, I think the logical reason, if we pull the emotion out, the logical reason is they were lottery tickets, right? They went to the Quickie Mart and they said, here's $100. I'd like to scratch off a lottery ticket and hope that it pans out because of this disaster that we put ourselves in with the Deshaun Watson contract.
You're telling me a 5-foot left-handed quarterback from Oregon is a lottery ticket. All right. So hear what you're saying. A guy that nobody had on their draft board until the 4th round. That's our lottery pick. That's the lottery. If we're going to go after a lottery pick, it should have been in the 1st or 2nd round. That's a lottery pick. 3rd and 5th round is not a lottery pick.
I'm just saying that's the only that's the only thing that makes logical sense to me. And I I did not like the Dylan Gabriel pick at all. I am on record of that. I thought that they were going to pick Shedeur in the first round. So I was a huge Shedeur supporter. I was happy they got him in the 5th, whatever. I've seen 2 weeks of play, and it has looked like a 5th round pick so far. So, but again, whether we think that they're good quarterbacks or not, the organization clearly did, I guess, good enough to draft in the top 100, right? Dylan Gabriel. We saw very quickly what he had to offer, and it was just as everybody else thought, that the Browns weren't smarter than everybody else again. But I'm just saying that's the only thing that makes logical sense to me is they were scratching lottery tickets, hoping that one of these guys panned out and that they didn't have to draft a quarterback in the next year's draft, and they, hit a Brock Purdy or something. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that makes logical sense to me. I'm not saying that it was the right move.
Hold on. The logical sense was 1 lottery ticket, not 2.
I agree with you there too. But again, this is the Browns, buddy. This is the Browns.
I know. This is the clown show that we have to deal with every week.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So I guess for you,
and the other thing, hold on, we're going to go back to, and also you kept a potential MVP in Christian McCaffrey less than 100 yards in rushing and receiving combined, and you still lost that game. You lost that game. And hold on, we do have to bring up Shelby Harris, though. What a man! I need to talk to that man off camera. When you start calling other people hoes, that is amazing. And understand why he got punched in the nuts. That's even more amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was said. I mean, obviously nobody's going to say what was said, but yeah, he said he was talking about his family, his wife, and his kids, and yeah, I mean, I don't blame the man. I mean, I've met the man once or twice outside of football, and he seemed like a very good person. His family's very nice. Like I don't.
You met Juan Jennings out of?
No. Harris, Shelby Harris.
Where did you meet Shelby Harris at?
We can talk about that off air. I don't want to put out spoilers there for him, but yeah, no.
Why is he not on the pregame show with us right now?
It's not like me and him are besties, okay? I've met him.
It sounded like it.
No. I've met
like him. You guys are dapping it up and everything.
Well, let's not make that out to something that it's not. No, I'm just saying from what I've seen outside of football, he's a very good person, a very family oriented. So me with my family, if somebody was talking about my family like that, I'd be pissed off too. So I am not surprised. But let's get into this game we have coming up so we can get off our soapboxes here and quit licking our wounds. Well, we'll probably do that a little bit more anyway. What are you thinking coming up here with the Titans matchup here today at 1:00?
I think that this is, if anything's a guaranteed win on the schedule, this is probably it. Are you checking the TikTok? How's the TikTok going?
I don't know. I'm going to try and check the poll while we're rolling here.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know how to read this. I don't do TikTok live very often, so it looks like it's doing good, I guess. I'll look at the stats after
the
pregame show.
And if you guys want to comment there in TikTok live, just come over to our YouTube stream. You can hop in right here and we can get your comments up on this as we're doing it at Network 216. This has got to be one of the easiest games we got to play. The offensive line, atrocious. Running game, atrocious. Wide receivers, atrocious. Defense, even more atrocious. This is the best winnable game that they've got this year, and I'm telling you, but if they don't win this game, I can see somebody getting fired right afterwards, and I would do it. I'm being dead serious. I have a feeling if they don't win this game today and they get beat, Stefanski's getting fired today.
Oh, boy. Really?
Even what Albert Breer says, I just have a feeling. I'm not saying that I know anything or anything of that nature. I am just saying that, yeah, if he loses this game of all games today, he should be fired.
Hmm. Okay, so let's say he does lose the game. Do you think he should get fired right away or end of the season?
Right away. At that point in time, you lose to the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, you can't afford, and especially with the Bears. Well, you got 4 games after that. You got the Bears, you got the Bills, you got the Steelers, and you got the Bengals left, right? And
So
yeah, if he,
remaining schedule, Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals.
yeah, I wouldn't. At that point in time, yeah, 4 games left. I don't care. There was like, well, at least let him finish the season. No, you lost to the Tennessee Titans. You don't deserve to finish the season. You don't. And you can take Bubba Ventrone with you. And as what your friends Shadow say, with you, because we don't know what he does with the wide receivers. Take the one guy that holds the towel at the end of the bench that doesn't even wipe off the balls. He can go with you too. And we'll just keep going down the line. The one security guard that lets people down close when they're not supposed to be there, that guy can go too. I'm just calling for heads to roll if you lose to Tennessee Titans today. And I mean heads to roll.
I mean, is it any different than the Jets? We lost to the Jets.
It's totally different from the Jets. At least with the Jets, they had a veteran quarterback playing for them. This is a rookie quarterback. Their offensive line were the Jets actually had weapons on offense. They do not. Like this is, like I said, this is the easiest win on your schedule. You cannot screw this up.
Oh yeah. Well, it should be a barn burner. I'm sure it's going to be nationally televised for everybody to see. The over-under in total points is 33.5, which is one of the...
Bang that under. Bang that under.
That is one of the lowest in the last decade. As you mentioned, not only do we have the Titans, who are one of the worst offenses in the league, but also the Browns are one of the worst offenses in the league. Believe it or not, there are some similarities between our two teams. Both of the teams, the tight end currently leads the team in receiving yards, embarrassing as that is, and it's not a very good high number either. Your boy Fannin leading the Browns with 505 yards. Okonkwo, 406 yards for the Titans. So,
what was his name again?
Okonkwo. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his first name. It's like
Chigurwanwo
Okonkwo, I think.
Okay.
I am way out of my depth on that name there.
One more time for TikTok. Give one more time for TikTok.
You want to clip this, don't you?
One more time for TikTok.
Chiguranzo Okonkwo. Moving on. Anyway, before the draft this year, this matchup would have been very enticing with all the smoke and mirrors that was being played with Shedeur Sanders. Everybody was thinking Cam Ward and Shedeur were going to be 1 and 2 picks, 1 and 2 quarterbacks. Obviously, we're not there anymore. Shedeur, two interceptions, 2 touchdowns on the season. His small sample size. Cam Ward only 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He's been playing all year, so he is absolutely not lighting it up. I mean, you mentioned there's nothing around him either. So, I mean, have you watched much of the Titans? Do you have any faith in Cam Ward, or do you think the team just stinks around him so bad that it doesn't matter what he does?
Like, from what I've seen from Cam Ward, he has some flashes. But with a team that's that bad, especially that offensive line, I mean, I think he's the most stacked quarterback in the NFL right now. It's not good. It's not good there. And, you don't have a running game. Pollard is a former shell of himself. Wide receivers, it's kind of like us throwing Jerry Jeudy out there. I bet you if we give them Jerry Jeudy, he'd still look worse than what he does now. But it's just, I feel bad. But, Tennessee just pretty much gutted that whole team and started fresh. And they're trying to do it now with Cam Ward at the helm, and they're going to try to build around him. But, when you don't have an offensive line, which, hey, we know here in Cleveland all too well, When you don't have an offensive line that blocks, guess what? You lose the game because your quarterback's getting destroyed. So, I mean, that's what we got going on right now. And like you said, our defensive line should just eat today.
They should.
Eat today. Now, the one thing I do want to see today, which a lot of people will probably give me a lot of grief and a lot of guff over it, I do want to see a little bit more Junkins today. I need to get him some more confidence in the rush game. But also, you're at the point in time where you're 3-9. We're 3-9.
Yep.
Who gives a shit if Shedeur Sanders throws an interception? Who gives a shit if at this point in time, let him go, let him play. What are we playing for then? We're not playing for anything. If you want him to play and you want him to get confident, let him go. Let him throw the ball. Don't handcuff him with this bullshit of like, don't turn it over, don't get any interceptions, don't do this, don't do that. Let them play. Let them play and have fun for the last handful of games and see what this guy can do. Open it up. Open it up for him. Because we already know what we have in Fanning. We know what we have in Junkins. We know what we have in some of these guys that are here. We don't know what we have in him. And what I would say, too, is give him, let's say, this game and the Bears game, and then get Gabriel 2 games. Let him open it up if he can open it up. And by him opening it up, it's probably a 3-yard out every time. But let him play. Let's see what we have before this draft coming up, because then that way we know exactly what we should be drafting.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more there. I mean, you got to take the training wheels off. I think most people that study film and everything have said that they're not giving him the keys to the castle or whatever you want to call it, right? They've got the bumpers up for the bowling, whatever you want to call it. They're not letting him play to the full extent. So, like you said, you got to see it, man. I mean, what else? What are we playing? We're not having a winning season here. I know Kevin Stefanski probably goes out there every week trying to win. I don't know how with all those mistakes, but you got to see what you have, right? Like enough. And I mean, the other thing I saw a lot with the breakdown of the film from last week was he had his number one target open several times, and he went away from it and ended up doing the check down Charlie thing, which is the same thing that we've seen from Gabriel, same thing we saw from Flacco. Week after week, it seems that it's a constant, right? And not that I defend Stefanski, but I'm wondering, is this another thing that Stefanski is like trying to beat out of these quarterbacks? Like, don't throw the ball to the other team. Don't throw interceptions, right? Like, is he coaching?
I think he is, but he might be. But the thing is if you look at the way the NFL is, especially as a quarterback, guys, you're throwing at spots. You're not throwing at receivers. You got to trust your wide receiver to be at a spot. If that's your read, and your read you feel like is open, you got to throw it there. You cannot check it, because a hesitation, just that millisecond of a hesitation, is enough time for chaos to happen. And that's where I think that our rookie quarterbacks are afraid of, is because, one, they don't want to make the mistake of turning the ball over and all that stuff, but also they don't trust themselves yet to let that ball loose when the window is, when you're trying to shoot a bullet in an inch by inch, section. So, and Justin, no, we cannot draft new owners. I wish we could sometimes too. But yeah, you gotta let these kids play and let them go.
I agree. It's a point of concern for me. I mean, you mentioned Judkins trying to get him going. I mean, every game we watch this year, it seems like the running backs are getting tackled in the backfield. And I know maybe we'll talk more. Let's maybe get into it more about the Titans defensive line versus this Browns offensive line. As you mentioned already, Conklin and Teller are going to be out. And even with them in, it hasn't really looked spectacular, to be honest. So, What are your thoughts? I mean, do you think that we can get the run game going so that Judkins is not getting hit in the backfield before he even, gets to the line of scrimmage this week?
I mean, listen to me. I'm no coach, but the strong side of your offensive line right now is the left side of your offensive line with Joe Bitonio.
Yep.
And I would look at Junkins and say, follow his ass wherever he goes. And I would run on the left side the entire time. And the good thing is if you start running it on the left side the entire time, that opens up the play action for Shador to sneak out on the backside on a bootleg and catch somebody downfield. I know they don't do it like that. Obviously, hey, no coach here. I mean, I coach in Madden 26 and college football 26, but here, it's a little different story. But I really do think that they need to stay on the left side of this offensive line. And if they're going to run to Quinshon Junkins' strengths, not this little zone read where he's got to hesitate. Let him get downhill. I wouldn't say power I, but let him do some dives up the middle, maybe a little counter to the outside, and just let him hit the gas where he needs to hit the gas and hit it in the full head of steam and let him go and go that way. I would like to see him get, anywhere between, I'd like to see him today, especially against that defense line, at least average between 4 and 5 yards a carry.
That would be nice. He's averaging 3.8 yards a carry on the season. So
I want it to be higher. I want it to be at least 5 yards today.
I don't disagree at all. What about special teams?
Do they even have to make the trip to the stadium today? Can they just stay home? Hold on. Bojorquez and Schmidt, you guys can come. But everybody else, just stay the fuck home. We don't need. I would start going forward on fourth down a lot more now. I really would. If you can't trust the special teams, I would. Hey, whether it's a punt situation or anything like that, if it is let's just say one of those ones where you're in between a punt and a field goal, that's what they call a Hail Mary. Launch one down the field. If it gets intercepted, guess what? It's a punt. You know what I'm saying?
That. Absolutely. Yeah. You
got anything less than 4th and 5, go for it. Go for it. You got nothing to lose today. You got nothing to lose the rest of the year. Be aggressive.
I couldn't agree more. The special teams, again, we talked about it earlier in the show, has just been disgusting week after week. I don't know. We both have mentioned it. We don't know how Bubba Ventrone has kept his job. And this, another name that I'm not going to be able to pronounce that you're probably going to make fun of me for, but Chimere Dike is the only bright spot on the Titans' entire team.
Oh, the kick returner.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has
22 yards average.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He has a long kickoff return of 71 yards and a long punt return for 67 yards with a touchdown. And that combined with our special teams this year, that seems to spell disaster to me. So that is a huge point of concern for me. I like your strategy. Go for it more on fourth down and maybe learn from your mistake last week or your mistakes from the last 5 years, Kevin Stefanski. If something doesn't look right or it's not getting set up right, call the dang timeout. Like last week, you took 3 timeouts with you because we were I don't understand, right? But I think he's going to get blown. I think he has to go for it more on fourth down, like you say. Casey's over here just blowing it up. I can't say that.
Say it. I'll say it. Shit show. Shit show.
Oh my goodness. But to our comments earlier, no, Casey, we cannot draft common sense. That doesn't happen here. Justin said, can we draft a new owner? You want me? Should I start a GoFundMe? Maybe you think we can raise enough money as Cleveland fans to do what the Packers did and start,
just buy out
the Haslam.
As long as I'm GM, that's all I care about.
Well, as far as your qualifications, if you can read Mel Kiper's top board, I think that's a better board to go off than whatever Andrew Berry goes off of most years.
I don't even need to read Mel Kiper's top board. I'm just going the best available down at the bottom that's scrolling.
Well, that's Mel Kiper.
That's not all Mel Kiper. They have the Todd McShay that pops up there too.
Oh, yeah. Mel and Todd. There you go. All right. Well, we did put up a poll this week. on Twitter if you want. Go follow the Network 216 on Twitter if you're not already doing so. We're going to get much more action on that stream. So the question of the week this week was, what can the Browns do defensively against this Titans slow, inept offense, so to speak? The options were shut them out, give up somewhere under 10 points, 11 to 19 points, or 20-plus points. And currently the leading in the poll is the Browns give up under 10 points at 38%. So most Cleveland fans are thinking that this should be a low-scoring game, just like Vegas does, and that the Browns are going to be able to keep the Titans under 10 points this week. Do you agree, Fatty?
Yeah, I think that's the best bet, is that 10 points or under. Pizza and pasta buffet, please. Please, you got to throw in chicken wings there too, brother. Don't forget the chicken wings. Yeah, 10 points or less, and yeah, I don't even know what this game is going to get, because is it snowing in Cleveland? Because it's snowing here in Sandusky.
It's supposed to be on and off. It's like mixed snow and rain flurries, like 30 to 40%.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and barely any wind, so it should be perfect. Interesting.
That sounds like a 9-3 win for the Browns.
There you go. What about X factors? Do you have any X factors or impact players you're looking forward to? You mentioned a couple already, but anybody you want to highlight?
I really do. I think the X factor for today's game, I think it should be for the rest of the season, should be Shedeur Sanders. It should be him for today. It should be him lighting the ball down the field, because if this other offense of the Titans is that horrible and your defense is doing that good, why not open it up some of those plays and let him start throwing the ball, getting some more confidence, getting some shots down the field? So I think the X factor today is Shedeur Sanders. And then on the defensive side, he's going to be defensive rookie of the year. Possibly, maybe. No, I wouldn't give him defensive player of the year. But Carson Schlesinger has just been a beast. And when they drafted him, I sat there and was like, man, who the hell is this guy? And now I'm like, okay, now I see it. So, yeah, he's probably going to I have him, in parlay that we're doing there, see some tackles and some assists coming from that guy again. He's leading the Browns with tackles and assists. So,
I love it.
What about you?
Agree.
What do you got for next factor today?
I agree with you on the Schlesinger. We talked about that previous to the show. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with another big game, 8 to 10 tackles, something like that, and just has his fingerprints all over this one. The other one I'm looking forward to is Mason Graham. Mason Graham has been getting better and better every year, probably, but every week as a Cleveland Brown. And, now that Malik Collins is out, I fully expect Mason Graham to step up, and I think he's going to make a huge impact, continue to get pressure up the middle so that Alex Wright, who's back, by the way, and Myles Garrett can continue to eat on the outsides. And I think that those are the biggest things to watch out for this week. Offensive side of the ball, yeah, I would love to see Shedeur, like you said. I'm just not confident. I'm afraid that Stefanski is going to keep the handcuffs on this week, and it's going to be a very boring offensive showing. Injury watch, I don't have the most up-to-date as of noon today, but as of this morning, the players that I can tell you that I know for sure are out. Still Brandon Bates, our tight end for the Browns. Aiden Huntington again for the Browns. Wyatt Teller and Jack Conklin, we already mentioned, are out for the Browns as well. The Titans, here's some more names that I don't know how to pronounce. The Armour Davis, cornerback, is out, and Cushenberry, who is the center for the Titans, is out. So we kind of already touched on that. Nothing big surprise there. There's a couple other players that are questionable. We'll see if they end up playing or not. But let's talk about our little incentives for gambling here with our DraftKings picks. Do you remember by chance the ones that you had, or I got them written down here if you need them?
I do. I do.
Okay.
Daddy today went with a 4-pick parlay. I went with the Browns money line today. I went with Shador Sanders over 161.5. I also went with Carson Schlesinger, 8+ tackles and assists. And the big one for me today, and I hope he gets his history changed. Myles Garrett, 2+ sacks today.
Love it. And you
That's a
said that
$5 holler. That'll win you $40.
That's right. And I am feeling very similar. I don't think Myles breaks the record today. My gut is telling me that he's going to break it against Josh Allen. But so that's 2 weeks, 3 games from now. But I do think I agree with you there. I think Myles does have over 2 sacks. And my parlay, I guess, well, it wouldn't let me combine the picks. Fatty gave me some gambling tips earlier today that where you can do it. But I instead chose 2 locks, right? I got Carson Schlesinger right now. His over-under on tackles is 3.5. I love that line. He's averaging 4 tackles a game. And like I said, I think we both agree he's going to have a big impact on this game. And then the other one that I'm looking forward to is Alex Wright. I think he's going to have a big impact on this game. His over-under for sacks right now is 0.25. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he has 1.5 sacks. You know, him and Myles maybe split a sack. And again, you mentioned the Myles Garrett over under. That's at 1.75 sacks, which is I think the highest we've seen all year. So that's a little too rich for my blood, but you know, it's your money. You know, do what you want, and as they say, you know, all that. You know, if you have a problem, you know, go seek help, and there's phone numbers, and hotlines, and all that for that. So
1-800-GAMBLER.
There you go. That's nice and easy one. I don't know how you remember that.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it scroll across everything.
Yeah. There we go. All right. A little history for you here. A little trivia for you. I know you love your trivia. There's not a whole lot of Browns and Titans history that I would even like to talk about, so we're just going to go straight to the trivia. In the last 10 years, I'm going to give you 3 options. Can you tell me which was the lowest point spread for the pregame going into the game? You've got 3 options here. You got the Steelers and the Patriots from 2023. That was the year when the Patriots, I believe the Steelers were rolling out Mason Rudolph. Patriots, I think, were rolling between Bailey Zappi and some other number of quarterbacks before they got Mac Jones. That was in the Mac Jones era. Then you have the Jets and the Patriots from 2024, but it was actually the 23-24 season. It was a January game. So same year for the Patriots. Jets, I think, were also in a quarterback carousel, just like the Browns. And then or today's game, the Browns and the Titans. Out of those 3 games, which one do you think had the lowest pregame point spread?
Let's see here. I don't want to say today because I don't want it to be the Browns. I'm going to go Pats Steelers.
Pretty close. Today's game actually is very low, right? It's historically low. I think it is the 3rd worst in the last 10 years. Is 33.5. The second place was actually the Steelers Patriots, the game you just mentioned from 2023 at 29.5 points. And the lowest was actually the Jets Patriots from 2024, 28.5. It was actually Trevor Siemian versus Bailey Zappi, and 2 offenses that were horrible, and it was expected to be horrible weather as well. There was a big snowstorm expected, so that takes the cake. So surprisingly, today's game, even though we think it's pretty disgusting, is not the lowest that we've seen in the last 10 years.
That's sad. Oh God, that's sad.
We're setting the bar really high here, Fatty. We're setting it really high.
And I want to bring up something before we get our scores in real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
I want everybody to realize now. Nathan Segura said this on Friday's show on the Ken Carman and Anthony Lyman show, and I want everybody to realize this. Myles Garrett is a historical pace right now. All right. If he does break the sack record, there's also a possibility he breaks the tackles for loss record that J.J. Watt had.
Yep.
If he was not playing on the Browns, he would probably win MVP of the National Football League with the performance that he is putting up this year and the defensive stats he's putting up this year, because he is playing for the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns are losing the way they are. He's not going to get it. Just think about that. You pissed away not just a season, a historical season for a legendary player coming up.
Well, they love doing that. They did it with Joe Thomas for what, 10, 11 years? Now we're doing it with Myles
11 years. But Joe Thomas also did it to himself for like 12,000 games or 12,000 snaps. He should have I would have walked out on a couple of those and be like, fuck you guys, I don't want to do this.
Oh, man. It sounds like some good stuff we can talk about in the offseason. Can't wait.
Well, we definitely are.
You got any bold takes for this week?
Well, my bold take of Jerry Jeudy actually doing something last week was just a shit show. So, let's see here. Oh, why not? Bold take today, Quinshon Judkins, 2 touchdowns rushing, and Shedeur Sanders, 2 touchdowns passing. Why not?
Oh, sheesh. Good grief. Again, I'm going to stay the heck away from the offense today. My bold take is the Browns feast on defense. At least 1 turnover, at least 1 touchdown, at least 5 sacks. So there's your positive. For the bad, I think, God damn it, Chimmery Dyke puts up a big play for special teams. I don't know that it's going to be a touchdown this week, but I think you're looking at least a 50-plus yard return for that guy. Would not be surprised with how horrible this is. So we got Jerry.
That's great.
His ass to the bench where he belongs.
That's great. Way to go, KK.
Fatty passes on thirds. Oh no,
that's nope. That's not happening.
Justin did mention that. Yes, I agree with you there. Myles also did it to himself by re-signing. So
that's true.
Let's wrap it up here. What do you got? Give us your bold, or not your bold, but your score predict for today.
Obviously, if I'm thinking 2 touchdowns and 2 touchdowns, we're going to go 31-3 today. I'm going to get a Schmitty field goal in there too. I think the offense just smokes them. Defense just 12 sacks today. Let's just throw 12 sacks a day and 2 interceptions.
Oh my goodness, boy, you are high on the optimism. That's what happens.
I think it's the bacon. I think it's the bacon and the sugar that I had that's got me all kind of like giddy right now. I don't know what to do with it.
As terrible as that score looks from Justin, I'm more aligned with Justin than I am with you. I don't have the Browns winning 3-2, but I think the Browns win something like 13-9, maybe. I think it's going to be a lot like the Raiders game, but it's going to be a closer game. I just with the weather, like I said, I'm just afraid that old Stefanski is going to have the handcuffs on, and we're all going to be screaming at the TVs again. I do think that the Browns defense just absolutely terrorizes them, and we've kind of mentioned that all day. So anything else you want to say, shout outs or anything? Thanks to our followers.
No, Bud, I just want to thank you. For those that do not know, Brian has become the new COO of the Network 216 here to kind of help me out. I appreciate everything he does. Putting out polls, and like today with me being out of town with my family for a friend's birthday, they're twins.
Cutting out. Oh, there you're
got
back.
Together and okay. So I just want to thank everybody, it's for watching. Give us that like and subscribe. We got new content coming on Network 216 all the time. So please, you're going to be seeing a lot more of us. Fatty audio fail. That's new. But yeah, just give us a like, subscribe, follow us on all of our socials at network_216. And you'll be getting some funny clips probably from today on our socials from me being just a gigantic cheerleader over here.
Yep, can't wait after that 31-point victory. Love the positivity though. So let's.
All right, what about you, bud? You got anything?
No, man. I just want to say thank you. You know, a lot of you tune in every week. We appreciate it, whether you're watching it live or afterwards. We appreciate the love and support. And like you said, just the more you like the videos, comment, whatever, it all helps the algorithm or whatever for us to get out to more people. And we just appreciate it all. So thanks for everything. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Maybe I don't think it's going to happen this year, but maybe next year when we do pregame shows, we actually have something to look forward to and some hope of positivity, every week. And, maybe we can talk playoffs, not like this year.
Instead of yelling at each other for the first 35 minutes because our special teams suck.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds.
All right, everybody. Hey, enjoy the Browns game today. Go give us that like, subscribe on all of our channels. Get us out there. Brian, give it to us, buddy.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
All right, we will see you guys next week, possibly live and in person. So, see you guys next week. Have a good game today. Go Browns!